What's up, guys? It's Amir from Panelfly here, and today we're gonna break down A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. But before we do, guys, if you've been liking my content, can you please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment below any thoughts you have, anything you might want to tell me, any breakdowns you want to see, anything like that. I would love to know your guys' thoughts. And really just hear from you. At least, we're a growing channel, and, it's really helpful. So would love to hear your thoughts, guys. But with that, let's go ahead and get into it. So this is... So this is actually something I've been wanting to do for a while. There hasn't been too many updates other than the fact that they pushed A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms to 2026, which is very unfortunate. And it's actually when Season 3 House of Dragons comes out. So A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is actually going to come out in January. And that should probably finish up, really within, I'd say, probably a month and a half. Because it's only going to be 6 episodes, and then Season 3 of House of Dragons will come out probably at the beginning of summer, like June or July-ish. So we're going to have 2 different shows of the Game of Thrones world in 1 year, which is going to be pretty cool. It sucks we have to wait till 2026, though. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Might as well get you set up for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms here in 2026. So essentially, we open up with the first novella, which is called the Hedge Knight. That's going to probably be Season 1. So there's 3 novellas. I've read them all. It's actually this book right there, if you can see it. And so that book is actually all 3 novellas into one. And again, the first season will probably be the Hedge Knight. Then it'll be the second season will probably be with the second novella, which is, I believe, a Sworn Sword. And then the third is the Mystery Knight, I believe. Don't quote me on that. You can easily look that up yourself. But I believe those are what the novellas are called. And with that, let's go ahead and get into it. So basically, we're going to be opening up with Ser Duncan the Tall. And basically, he's, he grew up poor. He's from the slums of Flea Bottom. And basically, his mentor, Sir Arlen of Pennytree. Let me make sure I got that right. Yep, Sir Arlen of Pennytree. He sees him in, the slums of Flea Bottom. He sees that he's huge. He's like 7 feet tall already at like 14. And so he makes him his squire, essentially. And he takes him along with his adventures. He's like a freelance knight, what they call a hedge knight. So he just goes from basically gig to gig, going to town, seeing if they need his services. So Dunk is poor, he's inexperienced, he's alone. And basically we open up with his mentor dying. His mentor obviously did, teach him some fighting skills. He obviously has some gear. So basically all he has is his horse, Thunder, his mentor's like knight gear, sword, and some fighting skills. So there's a big tourney coming. It's called the tourney of Ashford Meadow, and Dunk is like, I'm basically going to go there and see if I can make a name for myself, and basically see if a lord will, take me in and I can become a knight for him. And so that's essentially what he does. He goes along the way. He stops at a tavern, and in the tavern he meets a bald boy. And you're like, why is this boy bald? And it's funny, if you think about it, you can put it together of why the boy is bald. Because there's only pretty much one family race in the Westeros world that has unique hair, and so you would spot them in a second. So there's a reason why he's bald. I hope you put that together. So basically, he encounters, his name is Egg, obviously for his bald head. And he immediately asks if he can be Ser Duncan the Tall's squire. And he basically shoves him off and says no. And at this point, it's not very clear, but we're all assuming that technically Ser Duncan isn't a knight yet, but he's going to attorney, and he's basically just going to go ahead and say he's a knight. And I mean, who's really questioning that, right? So basically, he shoves Egg off, saying, hey, nah. And then he goes to the attorney of Ashford Meadow, where the first person he meets is Egg. And he's like, what the heck? So basically, they kind of finally buddy up. I don't think he's officially a squire yet, but they essentially buddy up, and they're kind of going through the attorney of Ashford Meadow. And a very tall puppeteer gal catches Dunk's eye, and essentially he sees her and wants to go talk to her. He's seeing her doing the puppeteer stuff, and after the show, he wants to go talk to her, and he sees this guy basically beating up on her, being mean, and basically Dunk interferes. And we see that it's actually a Targaryen. Let me make sure I got this right. Aegon. No, not Aegon. That's Dunk. Sorry, give me one sec. Aerion Targaryen. Sorry. Aerion Targaryen. And basically, since he stops a Targaryen, all the knights who's protecting him beats him up, and basically Egg steps in, and we realize Egg's a Targaryen, and he stops them. Nevertheless, they still arrest Dunk because he obviously, just hit a prince. And Aerion demands basically a trial by 7, and Dunk is like, yo, I have nobody. I was just about to enter into this tournament, and essentially he had to give up to get some new knight gear. He had to give up his horse. He had to give up whatever knight gear he had, and he has nobody. He doesn't have any friends. He has nothing. He's not even that great of a fighter. So basically, he's like, how the hell am I going to find 6 people to recruit? And essentially, with the help of Egg, he basically helps him recruit his uncle, which is Baelor. Baelor Targaryen is also known as Breakspear, I believe. He's a very noble guy. He's technically, I believe, Egg's uncle and Aerion's uncle, I believe, because Egg and Aerion are brothers. And essentially, with the help of him, they basically recruit, I want to say 4 people, and then eventually they convince another knight, and they get the 6 people they need. And so now they're basically going to fight a bunch of Targaryens, and Egg is like, what the hell just happened? I came here to make a name for myself, and now, Dunk is like, I came here to make a name for myself, and now I'm in a trial by 7 trying to defend myself for doing nothing but helping a girl. And he basically, he has to win, because if he doesn't win, he's gonna die. And so basically the trial happens, and long story short, Dunk ends up winning. So Dunk survives. He obviously not without scars. It sucks. Prince Baelor actually dies, and basically we kind of foreshadow that what's going to happen is Dunk ends up joining the Targaryens. And he's going to end up becoming one of the most famous knights in Westeros, which is actually pretty cool, pretty crazy. And basically, Dunk discovers, obviously now he's discovered that Egg is a Targaryen who actually goes on to become Aegon Targaryen. And so technically Egg is actually the grandfather of the Mad King. So this universe is actually set 90 years before a Game of Thrones, and I can't remember, I think 100 years after House of Dragon, something like that, or maybe 50 years after House of Dragon. Don't quote me on that, but it's in between House of Dragon and Game of Thrones, where this is set. And this isn't a huge, war, action-based show. This is actually going to be more of a character drama. It's more it's going to be at least 3 seasons, I'm guessing, for the books. And it's going to basically be the adventures of Dunk and Egg, essentially. And basically the ending will be, Egg will be King Aegon Targaryen, and Dunk will be Dunk will be his knight. I forgot what's the knight on the what's the knight in the, comment below if you know what I'm talking about. Basically, Dunk becomes one of the most famous knights in Westeros history. The equivalent of basically what, goodness gracious, guys, you know I'm bad with names and memorizing titles and positions and things like that. But basically, like the equivalent of what like a Jaime Lannister was. And so basically, yeah, it's going to be the adventures of Dunk and Egg, and they're going to be multiple tourneys. There's going to be multiple Targaryens. So this is in the aftermath again of House of Dragon. So there's not really going to be dragons, but Targaryens still rule. But the Targaryen dynasty is on the decline. And so basically that's where we kind of set up. And then, you know, we'll basically get into season 2 and then season 3. And season 3 is basically where we're going to meet one of the most famous Targaryens, who ends up becoming the, what is Bran? Guys, comment below. The old guy in the tree. You know what I'm talking about. Comment below. But basically he becomes that, and we're gonna like basically foreshadow Game of Thrones. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm actually really excited for this, and I'm excited for House of the Dragon too. But this is just gonna be really cool. Like I'm excited to see A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I thought it was a great read, and it should be pretty cool. So guys, let me know what you think about the breakdown. Again, comment below on some of the titles, positions, and names I missed. It's been a minute since I've read it, and honestly been a while since I've seen Game of Thrones, so some of them are blanking in my head. But comment below. You generally know what I'm talking about, especially if you've seen it. So let me know what you think. And also let me know what breakdowns you want to see next. If you can like, if you can subscribe. Also check out my sponsors, EliteDonut.com, Elite Sweets. They make better for you donuts. They have donut holes. We have 3 different flavors: chocolate, cinnamon, and powdered. They are absolutely freaking delicious. They are better for you, gluten-free, protein-packed, low sugar compared to a traditional donut. They are absolutely freaking delicious, guys. You really need to try it. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of the breakdown, and I will see you in the next one.